What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be looking over Charlie Kirk versus 25 woke students on Donald Trump's presidency. Let's get to it.
Trump was a great president. Hello.
Hello. Okay, so what makes you think, what defines a good president for you?
Good. No new wars. So the most peaceful time we've had in modern American history, almost the best economy we've had in modern American history. Wages going up for blue-collar workers in particular.
Okay, no, I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
So starting on point 2.
Well, point 1, what do you think about point 1? World peace.
I don't want to talk about point 1.
Oh, you don't want to talk about no world peace?
I think world peace is good, but I don't want to talk about
even
it.
Gaza wasn't
at
at war.
Point 2.
Okay.
So
we'll get to that later.
Trump had a recession, right, during his presidency. Why is that good for the economy? Why does that result in a good economy for you?
So you mean that the COVID related situation that we largely recovered back by the fall, 6 months later?
Yeah, I mean, he let it happen, right? He handled COVID bad enough that there was a recession as a result of it.
So which criticism of Trump are you saying? That he didn't lock down the country enough, or that he locked down the country too much?
I don't think he did nearly enough during the beginning of COVID.
Okay, got it. So so he didn't lock down enough businesses and didn't shut down enough places?
I think he could have done a better job of preparing the country. He said a lot of outlandish things, that it doesn't matter, and to reduce panic.
Well, he never said it doesn't matter. So he did 15 days to slow the spread, right, with Mike Pence. He also left it to the states. The heaviest lockdown states were California and New York. Do you know that more people died under COVID under Joe Biden than Donald Trump? Donald Trump pushed early treatments.
Oh, wow, shocker. When Trump was voted out of office and then the pandemic continued for 3 years, more people died in 3 years than 1 year.
In the same period of time.
In the same period of time. If a building is completely on fire and I need to be the one to put it out, of course, the damage done during my job of putting out the fire, rather than the person who could have prevented the fire from taking place.
So how could Trump have prevented the fire?
He could have done a significantly better job of warning people for what was going to happen.
Wait,
if you look at what Trump said in March and February.
Be specific.
Be specific? Okay, so Trump
Be more specific.
I'm out.
How are you?
Hey.
What's your name?
My name is Win, and I didn't have to trip on the way here.
Good.
So that was my impression of Trump at Air Force One. But yeah, so we've been talking a lot about wars. I wanted to maybe pivot towards another direction in terms of foreign policy. I think Donald Trump was pretty bad when it came to diplomacy with our allies. The world thought we were a joke for a really long time. We withdrew from the Paris agreements. We withdrew from shat on NATO, and so
we didn't withdraw from NATO.
Oh, I didn't say that. We shat on, or he shat on NATO.
NATO has been better funded than ever under Donald Trump. He got every country to pay more.
I recognize that, but when he fostered a rhetoric, I feel like, with the American people,
like
and
what? Give me examples.
Or he fostered an attitude of isolationism, and I think that's really concerning, especially when foster these ties with our allies. Or
is not a term he's ever used. He believes in America first, not America only, and he's been the one that called out China's rise to power, the Chinese Communist Party's annexing or potential annexing of Tibet, and trying to do what they're doing with the Uyghur population, also potentially taking Taiwan. Donald Trump put tariffs. He's tried to hold them accountable. So what Donald Trump tries to prevent is quagmires that do not benefit the American people. Donald Trump has been a critic of the Iraq war, critic of the Afghanistan war. Do you know what you did not hear once at the Democrat convention? Not a single Democrat say the Iraq war or the Afghanistan war was a mistake, because now the Democrat Party's become the party of war. You heard that the Republican Party. The Republican Party, they said the Iraq war was a mistake, Afghanistan war was a mistake.
Okay, but and
they were mistakes.
Okay, so you're trying really hard to go back to war. I feel like we've talked about war.
Well, I said quagmires, right?
Okay,
so China is the enemy.
We can't, like, at the same time convince American voters that, you know, we should withdraw or essentially just neglect our relationships with other allies. And then at the same time,
he never did.
He has. I feel like.
Give me an example, other than rhetoric, how we did not fulfill our obligations to allies, or we turned our back on an ally. Give me one example of that happened under Donald Trump.
So I feel like rhetoric is a fair evaluation of this.
But not if all of a sudden you're paying more money and your enemies are on their heels.
So when you have a rhetoric that.
But give me an example of the rhetoric, though.
Okay, so for example, he was very adamant that we pull out of Paris, right? The Paris agreements. So
that was a good thing. That's not turn your back on your allies.
Okay, sure. NATO, right? So with NATO, it was like there was this. Wow, I'm sorry. Okay, with NATO, I feel like there was.
Sorry, man.
Nah, it's all good.
Thanks. Okay. All right. Hello.
Hi, I'm Greg. Nice to meet you.
You got up so peacefully, so nicely.
So, your claim begins with Donald Trump being a great president, right? Why would you say that is?
No new wars. You like world peace, right?
I'd say so, yes.
So under Bill Clinton, George Bush, H.W. Bush, Obama, and under Biden, we have nothing but war. We had war with Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Syria, Libya, Arab Spring. Do you know that there was not a single new war under Donald Trump, first time in 40 years? That's a good thing, right?
Of course, and I would say that that is a good thing. However,
all right, we agree.
About there being world peace, why do you think that there were all these wars? Does that say something about the president, or does that say something about our country's forever war machine, military-industrial complex?
So Trump was against the forever war machine.
Really?
Of course.
Oh.
You know that Donald Trump was the one where his generals actually defied his orders. You know, Mark Milley under Donald Trump called the Chinese Communist Party president and undercut Trump's orders when Donald Trump was the one actually pursuing diplomatic channels. Now, let's just say for 40 years, we had nothing but war.
Okay.
And for 4 of those 40 years, so 36 out of 40, we had war. We had no new war. Something Donald Trump did. We did not have war in Ukraine. We didn't have war breaking out with Israel. We didn't have war in Gaza. We didn't have Syria, Libya. And it's because Donald Trump pursued a non-interventionalist America First policy, put the military defense contractors on their back. Well, you can run up here if you want. But I think we agree that we don't want war. And honestly, he's changed the orthodoxy of the Republican Party for the better when it comes to war.
Well, to say that he's responsible for the peace that we endured during that term, is essentially insinuating that the president of the United States has a big red button that says war on it, and whenever he presses it, war just breaks out.
Well, it's an interesting point. Let's think about what he did. He authored the Abraham Accords, which brought peace in Israel and the Middle East. He prevented.
Did it? Oh, did it?
Well, for his 4 years, yes. Do you know that Israel and Gaza were not at war in the times of 2017 to 2020? If you guys want, you guys can come up when we're talking. But hold on a second. Let's just be honest. Were the people of Gaza better today, or were they better 4 years ago?
I don't think they've ever been better under Israel's occupation.
So I'm saying I'm not getting into those details, but like objectively, tens of thousands of people in Gaza have died the last couple of months, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Were those tens of thousands of people being bombed when Donald Trump was president?
This war was not happening when Donald Trump was president.
Because they wouldn't dare have done it when Donald Trump was president.
You think so?
No, I know so. It's because I look at 4 years and they didn't do it when Trump was president. How about Putin? Putin didn't invade Ukraine when Trump was president. Why? He invaded under Obama. He invaded under Biden, but didn't invade under Trump because Trump is the peace president.
Oh, really? He's a peace president. Okay, so
I think show me one new war. Show me where I'm wrong. I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me. Show me one new war that was started under Donald Trump. Because under Obama, I could show you.
Right.
Sorry.
We'll see each other again.
Hope so.